Hey, me, Callie Carroll. Good morning, sunshine.
Morning, sunshine. Good morning, sunshine.
Oh, good morning, sunshines. Daily dose of perspective.
Good morning, sweet baby sunshines. Good morning, sunshines. Let's get started.
Good morning, sunshines. Do you take ownership or do you place blame? This is what we're going to talk about just real quickly for today's daily dose of perspective, because it's something that's been driving me a little bit batshit crazy. And it's this awareness that I have watching, number one, my children place blame for the wildest things. Do you have kids? Do you ever notice this? Like, I mean, it can be literally like they drop something and break it, and then they're just like, "Oh, but it was Witten's fault. It was whoever's fault." And I'm like, I'm sitting here watching you. Like, what are you talking about? And there's this automatic feeling of the need to say that it was somebody else's fault, to place the blame. And okay, number one, that drives me crazy. So we talk about it. I talk to the kids about it. But as of late, I've been like, where is this coming from? Where is this stemming from? Because our kids learn their behaviors by the people they're around, by our actions, by our show up. And whether that's your parents, grandparents, friends' parents, teachers, mentors, the way that they show up, we have these learned behaviors that can start to create a new neural pathway of what should my natural reaction be when something doesn't go in ideal fashion, right? What should I do? The first thing that I think that I probably should do is point my finger at someone else to make sure that I'm feeling good about it. Wasn't my fault. Wasn't my, like, even if it wasn't my fault. Like, I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna try to push any of those feelings or ownership towards someone else so that I can show up a certain way. And I've just been looking at the people that my boys are around and watching how they have consistently been living by these behaviors, and they don't even know it, right? As a 40-year-old, 50-year-old, 60-year-old, 70-year-old, these neural pathways are so engraved, their habits are so engraved that they don't even realize that the second that something happens, they're like, oh, but it was fill in the blank here, it was situational, it was anything but my own ownership. And I don't know about you guys think, but I don't think that's an attractive quality. I don't I don't think that it's supportive. And I really think that it leads to a lack of power. And let me explain what I mean by that, because like, how does that lead to a lack of power? If you consistently take the things that go wrong in your life and point your finger at other people's situations, places, whatever it is, circumstances, and let go of any ownership, it means that you don't have you're not carrying the pen. You're not the author of your own book. You're not the one writing the story, because it's always somebody else who's taken the pen. Oh, they took the pen and they wrote the chapter about you spilling the milk, about the soda spilling over, about the whatever being broken or such and such being lost. And they've got control of your book, your story, your chapter, because you've decided to give all of your power to someone else because you won't take ownership for what's going on. And I get that there are different circumstances that aren't ideal in our world, but if we can find where we can personally have ownership of that, like, I love that there's this Facebook post that's going around lately about spilling coffee, right? And somebody bumps into somebody's shoulder and they get all pissed off at the person because they spilt the coffee. They're the one to blame, right? But you're the one who went to the coffee shop. You're the one who bought the coffee. You're the one that was holding it in your right hand or whatever that is. You're the one who had your computer nearby it. You're the one that fill in the blank there. And you can't refute that if you didn't have different actions, that situation wouldn't have occurred. And I think this stands up in almost all situations. I think there are some different interesting health circumstances that where it probably doesn't hold argument. Sorry. My daughter's connecting to my audio. Oh my gosh, I don't know how to turn it off. Whenever my kids, whenever, watch, okay, I'll do blame example right here. Whenever my kids get closer to my vehicle, it picks up their phone. So that's what just happened. So let me take a couple things of ownership right now. Number one, I didn't turn off my DND. So my phone is blowing up because I have it on because I was expecting a call from someone. 100% my fault. My responsibility. Not even a fault. I'm not at fault for that. That's just the truth. That's the responsibility of it. Number two, I didn't open up my door so my car was off so that when my daughter drove up that I didn't connect to her aux. So now you guys got to hear all of that. That's not her fault for driving up, for having her radio on, or my friends' fault for sending messages. They're just doing things, right? That's their ownership of what they're doing. And my reaction is, oh, I'm the one who created that. So if you could just take some time in your life, number one, to like acknowledge when you find yourself blaming. I've really been doing this, or letting go of your power, right, of pushing it to someone else, whether it's I can think of an example recently where I didn't close the door in my mom's barn, and like I was certain that I had, but it wasn't closed for whatever reason, and I found myself right away, oh, like it was one of the kids, so I'm like blaming one of the kids. I don't know, maybe I lost my mind, maybe I did forget it, so like, well, I'm sorry if I did that. That's a, shoot, darn, I didn't think that I did. So that would be a better response than automatic blaming someone else, removing that power, right? So acknowledge with yourself how much are you doing that, and then just watch your kids and the people around you to see how often they're using blame as a strategy of life and letting go of their power, and whether or not you like that, whether or not you appreciate it. And I'm not going to try to change the people that I'm around. Like, it does drive me nuts, but now I kind of just giggle at it. Like, I'm not even going to like have a conversation or an argument about it. But with my children, I am. With my children now, what I do is when they immediately move to the stage of blaming for whatever situation, I talk to them directly, in a horizontal relationship. I'll talk about that later, with a conversation of, hey bud, like let's just take some ownership in what just happened. Just blaming somebody else right away, it's not supportive. It's a it's not a big deal. We all make mistakes, we all have accidents, we all learn from these different things. So is the toy broken? Okay, it's broken. We don't need to try to blame and point fingers at somebody else. Let's move on from it. What can we do? How can we rectify the situation, and then will we change our actions in the future? It's a learning tool. Every accident, everything that's maybe not ideal in your presence, is a learning opportunity for us to grow and move when we take ownership. But when we place blame, all we're going to do is keep stepping into the same thing, the same pile of shit over and over again, because it's not our shit, it's somebody else's, but they get to just keep shitting everywhere around us, so we're just going to keep stepping into it, and then we get to blame everybody else, but really we're the ones covered in shit. That's where it all wraps up right there. Okay, if that didn't make sense, listen to it one more time in half speed. Love you guys. Bye.
Thanks for joining, and don't forget to subscribe and, of course, share with your friends. Guys, that's how we impact more lives. All right, see you next time.